Is 7:01, and we will start tonight's meeting with two public hearings. The first public hearing is item 1, ordinance appropriating $6,617,400 for costs related to repairs and replacement of roofs at Hatton Elementary School, William Strong Elementary School, and Reuben E. Thalberg Elementary School, and authorizing the issuance of $6,617,400 in bonds and notes to finance said appropriation. Before we open it up to the public, I know the superintendent is here, and maybe you want to say a couple words to start us off? After the superintendent speaks, for those who are here in the public, we'll open it up for anybody who wants to come up to speak in favor or against sending this to referendum.
Good evening. So this request is part of our roof replacement cycle. I spoke at a prior town council meeting in terms of the age of these roofs and the need for repairs. They're actually each well past the expected useful life of the roofs. 20 years is about the expected use. We're approaching 30 on a couple of them. And so this is just part of our stewardship of the buildings, maintaining them so that we don't run into more complex issues by not maintaining them properly. So this is just a request similar to what you had to the high school roof a couple years back.
Wonderful. Any questions for the superintendent? Chris?
Just a quick question, Steve. I know you said it's a proactive approach. Is there any maintenance needed now in any of these buildings occasionally?
As they get older, sometimes we have spot repairs that have to be performed, not only at those three schools, quite honestly, at several of the schools. And so, yes, I mean, that's an added expense that comes with the delayed maintenance and repair of those roofs.
Any other questions for the superintendent?
Mr.
Val,
Chair, thank
yes.
you. Can I just mention, I was reading through the Board of Finance minutes, and there was discussion about the 20-year warranty and the 30-year warranty. So is that something that, just to put it on the record, it sounds like some good questions were asked about maybe looking at the 30-year warranty because of the material that would be used.
So we had shared some information, I know, with the council, and Councilman Perry had asked at the last meeting about the warranty, and if given the new materials they're using and the type of process they go, can we get roofs that have a longer warranty period? And the answer was yes. And so that would certainly be something we're going to pursue.
So that will be looked at?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's always bid out, so we do have to look at what the most cost-effective proposal is.
Right, there's going to be a difference in cost, obviously.
Yes, but I mean, comparatively speaking, is that extra 10 years depending on the size of
How
the
long
bid
it will
worth?
last.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Good question.
Any other questions from the dais? Okay, then just for the, I have one question and then maybe
Sure.
a comment. The question is, do you have an implementation phasing? Will they all be done at once, or will you do them in successive years? Can you describe that to us?
If we can do them at once, we will. Some of that depends right now on who submits bids, and if it's one company, and they're the prevailing bidder, are we able to line up the work concurrently, or are they large enough that they can do all of the projects simultaneously? But that would be the goal, to get them all done at the same time.
Okay. And for those who haven't been following this topic, the town government and the Board of Ed each have capital improvement plans, typically a 5-month plan, a 5-year plan that rolls each year. They add stuff onto the 5th year. They verify years 1 through 4, and of course the first year from before falls off because hopefully those get done. This was actually slated for referendum next year, so this has been in our 5-year capital plan for the last handful of years. We decided to pull it forward to this year and then push an item from this year to next year, which is the potential for a referendum to build a new school. So that's kind of what's happened here. We're kind of reprioritizing to give a little bit more time for the other topic that is a little more meaty and more money, and to ensure that that gets done the right way and communicated out the right way.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So with that said, we'll open the floor up to the public. This is the $6.6 million for the roofs for the 3 elementary schools in town. And this is about sending this topic to the referendum for this November's election for the residents to vote on whether to spend the money on this. So if anybody would like to speak either in favor or against or neutral and you want to make a comment, come on up. There's numbers. You could take a number if there's a lot of people who want to speak. All right. So I'll ask one more time. Does anybody else want to come up and speak in favor or against sending the school roofs to referendum this November? Okay. Is the council okay with closing the public hearing?
Yes.
Okay. We will close the public hearing for the school roofs. Thank you to the superintendent for coming out. The second public hearing is an ordinance appropriating $2 million for acquisition of land for open space purposes and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation. This one here is a referendum question that comes up every few years. Sometimes it's every 2 years, 3 years, could be 5 years. As we purchase open space, this is a referendum question that the voters will vote on in November if it passes, and if the council passes it, whereby there'll be $2 million available to the town boards to evaluate and make purchases of open space to preserve land for, whatever the purposes are, active recreation, passive recreation, et cetera. So we have about $600,000 left in our open space coffers right now with a number of acquisitions that are being evaluated. And so anticipating the future need, we're putting this up for a referendum question now. So does anybody else on the dais want to make any statements or questions about the open space or the town manager? All set? Jen?
I'll just make, oh, sorry. So as the chairwoman of Open Space, I think this is proper forward planning because when things happen, they move very quickly. So to be able to have the funds to be able to preserve our open space is really critical to execute that.
Thank you. Chris?
And just to add on that, I also serve on the Open Space Committee, and it's important. We mentioned, I think at the last meeting too, there's no specific property in mind. This is just to be proactive, so we have the funds should something become available. And the other thing that's important, just to make sure the public is aware, this does include development rights, because I know we've had conversations about that in the past too. So development rights could mean that we're using some of these funds to purchase development rights, like for a golf course, so that we can preserve the open space land and not have homes built on the property.
Correct. Okay. Anybody? Jim, please.
I wanted to ask Jen, because of the importance of this and the magnitude of the potential properties that might be available, is $2 million really enough, and would we try to go for a higher number? Again, it's not money that's spent till we spend it.
Right. No, I think it's an appropriate amount. Can multiple transactions, come at once? Sure. You can't predict it. So
Right.
I believe it's conservative forward planning that's appropriate
Sure.
in the
Okay.
amount.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Del Santo?
So having money in our coffers it's weird. It's an enviable and an unenviable situation to be in, because oftentimes land becomes available. And if we have the funds to purchase the land to save, the land for the townspeople of Southington, great. Oftentimes we get outbid by private developers or private companies, but that's okay. At least we have a fighting chance if there's some money in the coffers. And a lot of times, folks offer the town first dibs, which is very nice. They want the town, they want the land to be preserved. We can only do so much, but I think the $2 million is an appropriate amount. And, to have it, I always say this, you'd rather have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So.
Excellent. Thank you. And, one thing to point out, if this goes to referendum and if it gets approved, the $2 million is not taxed right away. The $2 million doesn't actually hit the tax rolls until it's spent. And so this basically allows the town to purchase the land, which still has to go through the various boards, such as planning and zoning for approval, board of finance, town council, et cetera, if an entity comes up. So all that still needs to occur. And if that occurs at some point in the future, that would be when the funds would then be taken and bonded without going through the details. That's when the tax would occur, and that would get, because it's bonded, it would get spread over either 10 years or 20 year, based on the purchase amount and when the bonding occurs. So this does not affect, for example, this year's budget or next year's budget at all until any purchases are made. Okay? Okay, and Val?
Just a quick question. When was the last time that we did the bond ordinance? It's been a while.
It's been, yeah, a handful of years. It was either 19 or 21, I can't remember. One of those two, we put it in. It was two.
Was two?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, 2 million's kind of been the number that we've
Right, we
continued to go with.
did that last time.
Correct.
Right, yeah,
Yep.
thank you.
Okay. Who wants to come up and talk about open space and whether to support this or not support it? Anybody? Okay, going twice. Anybody want to come up and support this? Or not support it? Okay. Is the council okay with closing this public hearing? Please, yes. Okay. We will close this public hearing and we will move into our regular meeting. If we can please stand for the, I'm sorry, we'll do the roll call first. And Bill is remote, so Bill, if you don't mind being ready.
Christopher Palmieri,
Here?
Jack Perry,
Here.
Jennifer Klock,
Here.
Michael Del Santo,
Present.
Valerie DiPaolo,
Here?
William Diedzik,
Here.
James Morelli,
Here.
Tony Morrison,
Here.
Paul Japlinski.
Here, we have a full council today, 9 members, and if we can please stand for the prayer and the flag salute. And if Evelyn can come up, that would be great, to the microphone. Okay, the prayer?
Heavenly Father, may we consider the people of Southington and always render what is right and just for our citizens. Help us to be compassionate and caring for each individual while still seeking what is appropriate for the entire community. Give us wisdom and guidance. Amen.
Amen. And I've asked Evelyn if she'll start us in the flag salute.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Evelyn. Okay, we are looking for item 2. We're looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes of our last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the council meeting on July 14th.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the regular meeting of the Town Council, July 14, 2025. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I learned that over the time to wait a little bit. All right, so we've approved the minutes. We're going to move on to item 3. I'd like to introduce Michael Joseph Castiola and a recognition. Some of you might not know Michael, but some of you might have heard his story. And if you are an avid social media follower, you might have seen the story about a young man who was riding his bike down the road, and tell me if I get it wrong, Michael, okay? It's okay. And he bumped into a mailbox thinking that he broke the mailbox, and he took the time to get off his bike, walk up to the house that the mailbox was, to the owner's mailbox. He walked up to the owner, knocked on the door, and told the owner about the incident. Of course, as a 12-year-old, I'm sure he was nervous, and I'm sure a lot of thoughts went through his mind. But he went to the owner, and the owner was elated that he took the time to acknowledge that he may have made a mistake. And the owner was kind enough to let the community know. And so, I had immediately reached out to the person who told the story, and I said, hey, I'd like to recognize whoever this person is. And if the parents, the mother can call me, that would be great. And a day or two later, Danielle contacted me, and we talked a little bit about Michael and what a great person he is. And doing the right thing. And it warms my heart to have you here tonight because, the society that's out there today with a lot of these electronic devices, it pulls us away, sometimes scrambles, our thoughts a little bit. We flinch and we sometimes don't make the right decisions. But in the moment, your character came through. And it's the character that counts. And your character that showed through was a beautiful thing. And all too often, we don't have an opportunity to acknowledge and recognize good people in the community like you. So that's what we're doing tonight. Then over the weekend, I self-reflected a little bit because I remembered your name. I didn't know who you were at first. And I remembered your grandmother because I knew that I knew how much you liked your grandmother. And for those who don't know, we recognized Michael's grandmother in January when she passed because Gail Castiola was an employee at the Housing Authority, a longtime volunteer with Southington Community Services. And it touched my heart knowing that, somebody who was with the town for so long, his grandma, had made such an impression on him to make him the man that he is today, as well as his other grandfather that's sitting here today, grandfathers, and his mom. And, it's a beautiful thing. So we're happy that you're carrying on the legacy, Michael. This is a great time. And we're giving you a town council proclamation because we know that you're going to continue to do great things in Southington, and we want you to feel good about the decision you made to be a good citizen. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to come forward when you're ready and meet me here. Oh, I better get my glasses because I won't be able to read this. I'm going to have to read this. Come on, stand right here. All right. So this reads, the Town Council official proclamation, be it hereby known to all that the Southington Town Council hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Michael Joseph Castiola. Did I spell it right? All right. Whereas on a summer day in 2025, 12-year-old Michael Joseph Castiola was riding his bicycle when he accidentally bumped into and broke a mailbox. And whereas Michael immediately took ownership of his actions, went to the homeowner, and openly admitted his mistake, offering his apology without hesitation. And whereas this simple yet powerful act of honesty and responsibility touched the homeowner who shared Michael's story as an example of good stewardship, citizenship, and doing what is right. Whereas Michael's actions remind us that integrity is not measured by the size of the deed, but by the character shown in choosing honesty over convenience. And whereas the town of Southington wishes to recognize Michael for setting an example worthy of admiration by citizens of all ages, now, therefore, be it resolved that the Southington Town Council, on behalf of all of its residents, hereby honors Michael Joseph Castiola for his exemplary display of honesty, responsibility, and civic virtue. And be it further resolved that I, Paul Chaplinsky, Chairman of the Southington Town Council, and on behalf of the entire Town Council, declare today, Monday, August 11th, 2025, as Michael Castiola Day in the town of Southington. We're going to ask the council to take a photo. Bill, you're with us in spirit. We're also going to give Michael a town of Southington pin that all of the town officials wear. Okay, why don't we take a 1 or 2 minute break before we move on in case the Castiola family wants to depart. If you don't want to depart, we're okay. We'll just take a 1 or 2 minute recess, okay?
So many exciting things.
Organization, since we talked about Southington Community Services, Mr. Town Manager, I'd like to invite Janet Mellon to come up and talk a little bit about Southington Community Services update and support, all the great things that have been going on with Southington Community Services, and also maybe some of the things that are coming up that we've heard about that we would love for you to tell the rest of the community about. Went to sleep again, Alex.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice job, Alex.
That's okay.
we're trying to conserve energy.
Do you want me to start with this?
Yes, just
Okay.
We have the presentation in our packet, so if you'll refer to if you have the slides or if you want to refer to them, we'll, oh, there you go. Don't turn it
Okay.
off. Oh, no. The projector takes 15 minutes to warm up after we turn it off. While everybody is here, if you don't know Janet, Janet heads our Southington Community Services on South Main Street, and she has a wonderful group of volunteers. About how many people, Janet? Do you know how many are helping?
I
these things?
actually went down and counted before I came here, 155 volunteers for Southington Community.
155 volunteers. That's great. And countless others who are continuing to bring things down and support community services as well. So that's wonderful.
Okay, we're going to go through
And if you don't
Wait.
mind just speaking into the microphone.
we'll go through a PowerPoint, and then I'm just going to talk a little bit about the office so you'll better understand. Our mission statement is to assist and empower Southington residents, and that's so important. Staffing, we have 4 full-time and 10 part-time, and again, 155 volunteers that make that office run. Okay. These are some of the programs that we run, and I'm going to talk about them right after this. Fuel assistance, okay. 492 people applied for the state, which cost the town nothing. So that was a great program. And then 200 in addition local funds that we raised. The food pantry, I'm going to talk about this right now. We're short canned vegetables, canned fruit, and canned ravioli. We could use a food drive almost every single week, and the community's been wonderful. The stores have been wonderful. We had a couple food drives this last month. We had the Lions, we had the American Legion. Hopefully we'll have a few more, but we have it on Facebook that we're in need of food. There's a food pantry and monthly meals, $36,000. So Food Share gives you a formula on the weight, what would be considered a meal. Number of families that came in that month were 375, and the number of people in those families were 882. And registered are anywhere between 800 and 1,000 families, not individual, at the food pantry. The food pantry is open 40 hours a week, no appointment necessary. They can come in once a week for meat, food, personal hygiene, cleaning products, pet food, and then they can come in 4 times for produce, dairy, and pastry. And the reason for that is we pick those up every single day at the food stores for no cost. So we want them to come in and go out the same day. So that's why they can come in, and it's a wonderful feature. This is our food pantry, I think, when it was stocked. So the food donations come from civic groups, private people, businesses. This community is unbelievable. That's the only reason we've been able to support for all these years. And these are some food drives, pictures. So it really is the whole community. And the same thing for financial contributions. I think we're one of the few organizations that the town funds the employees, they fund the core, they fund the building, the electric, the utilities, the gas for the vehicles. So when people donate, 100% goes to client services, whether we're paying their rent or their mortgage for 1 month, whether we're stopping a utility bill, or your power from being shut off, whether we're purchasing food. So food, we can spend anywhere from $250,000 to $400,000 a year on food, not counting our food drives. So the food drives are so important because that could double that amount without food drives. I don't think people realize. So that money comes from donations from the public, and it comes from fundraisers from Southington Community Services. And we think it's important that that money comes from the public and the community. Taxpayers shouldn't have to pay that. We receive donations from many organizations. These are some of them. Community outreach, we work with the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, anyone who qualifies. In fact, I have an opportunity if anyone wants to volunteer September 21st. I'm having a hard time finding people there. Just give me a call.
Janet, there's a group of young adults here from the Yeti program behind you. And I think we saw that they also did some work at Community Services this year as well. Is that right? Some shelves, stocking shelves,
Yes.
fixing.
Yes.
So thank you to all of you who also are starting off helping with Community Services.
What are you doing September 21st? Thank you. It's very important. I just was panicking about that this afternoon. I'll call you, John? Okay. And these are backpacks for the back to school program. So when we give out backpacks for back to school, they get a backpack filled with supplies, and they get a $25, this year it's Targets, to buy shoes or clothes or whatever necessities that they don't have in our package. This year we're trying something new for the very first time. We listen when people call and say, hey, I didn't like the backpack, it wasn't age appropriate. So we're going to go to a place, because we don't have the parking or the space. It's going to be the Grace United Methodist Church next to DePaulo, and we're going to have the people come in. You pick out your backpacks for your kids. You pick out your supplies for your kids, and then you get your gift cards, and we're going to have snacks and water, and, just talk to them. I think it's going to be wonderful. Let's see if it works. That's what they ask. We listen. If somebody has a suggestion, we're the first to try it. We love change.
And Janet, when is the date for the backpacks?
September 20th.
September 20th.
And the ones who don't pick up, we have to go to the warehouse.
Sorry.
Oh my God,
August 20th.
August 20th. And then the people that don't pick up, we're going to go to the warehouse and make up all the other ones. And we're going to hand them out on Friday, the 22nd of August.
And I believe we have a young volunteer here as well named Evelyn that helps with the backpacks. Is that right? She
Evelyn.
did backflips.
Oh, Evelyn, I'm going to talk about Evelyn she's my last one, because I'm going to call her up. Yes,
okay.
Evelyn. And we're hoping she does it every single year.
Okay.
We have high teas with the Calendar House. Holiday programs, the AquaTurf and Realty 3 run a holiday program for all our families. We run a children's shopping party at the Calendar House. Chris Shanley Buck handles the delivery of approximately 800 families get their food delivered. And at Christmas, she also handles the delivery of the food. The firemen actually come with the fire truck and deliver the senior gifts at senior housing. It's quite an experience. The seniors make coffee, cookies. I have to go there. Those are some of the Shop with a Cop, which the children get $150 and they go shopping with a cop. That's through Walmart, actually, this year donated the $150 dollars per child. Easter baskets, we do about 300 Easter baskets. Those are usually delivered by Precision Realty and Crystal Restoration. Holiday food baskets, that's a big chore. I walk out of there, it's a little chaotic. We're going to make 1,600 to 1,700 bags of food. It's absolutely crazy. And again, Chris Shanley Buck has that under control. I stay in the office and wait for it to come back. So the day we deliver, we have students come from the different teams and help. We add the dessert and a few other things that day, so it's fresh. Rogers Orchard actually donates, like, I'm going to say 500 bags of apples and about 400 pies. Every Thanksgiving, he shows up and just brings it. It's unbelievable. I mean, this community is, without exceptions, the best community in Connecticut. These are people delivering. Oh, Valentine the Clown. Oh, she's always in her office. This, we're preparing for the Christmas gift. Families actually pick those up. And the Southington Fire Department. The first year they were always going to deliver the food. And the first year they were going to do it, we had all the firemen all lined up. And if people were around here, it was the fire the nights in. We had no one. We had 800 food bags, 800 turkeys at that time. We were using turkeys. And we had nobody to deliver them. So Facebook made it all possible. We just put it on Facebook and people showed up. So we don't use the firemen to deliver food anymore. Okay, AquaTurf Party, the Children's Shopping Party. Toy collections are so important. We use them year-round. And we have some wonderful people. Operation Stay Warm is held at the Plantsville Congregational Church. You can go in during the hours of operation. For each person in your family, a coat, hat, mittens, and a scarf at no cost at all. And it's all volunteers that are there to help the people, and the council is there one time doing that. So the coat donations is underway. It's almost over. We go to the senior community rooms. There's like 8 of them, and we actually have it on the road. So we bring them treats, we bring them the coats, and we feed them.
So if people have coats, hats, scarves still that they want to bring down,
Absolutely, but year-round, we save those.
so bring them to Southington Community Services.
Yes. The prom shop. So we're very proud to have this prom shop. In fact, we had the best year last year, and we're going to have the best year for the next couple years because we actually bought out Bengals. We bought everything in their stores, so our Southington residents are going to have the best of the best. And that was Friends of Community Services. So when you go there, you can have a gown, a short dress, a necklace, a bracelet, and earrings. We make sure that if anyone wants to go to the prom, they're going to be dressed to the hilt. And also suits. So if anybody has suits, we were short suits. We didn't think they would go, and this was a big push on suits this year for them. You could see the quality. Yes, join us. So I just want to go over a few things and let you know a little bit about myself. I started just before 9/11, and the first thing I did was ask the town manager, I'm going to take 2 weeks off to go to New York for 2 weeks. And he said, okay, make sure you have the time. So I went. It was the best thing I ever did. I did 8 other disasters, and I think it prepares you for this job. You're sleeping in shelters, you're on the floor, you're living with people who have nothing. You have to figure in a moment's notice what you're going to do next, because there's not somebody there to tell you what to do, and I think it prepares you for a job like this. And then in 2008, we wanted to move, so I, again, go to John Weissel, and I said, you have a building, the town owns it, it needs a lot of work, can we move there? He said, I'd love you to move there, but you're going to have to raise all your own money. And I said, you know what, that's not a bad idea. Because that way we get the community involved. Let the community volunteer and raise the money. It was the best thing we ever did. That's how we got to know all the different groups, how the people came and started volunteering. So John Weissel was really ahead of himself. For community services, that was the best thing he could have done. Peter Veranoff, if anybody knows him, he was really, I believe, the clerk of the works. Without him, I don't think we'd be here, and without the Calvinist Foundation, who actually held the money during the renovations. So that was wonderful. 4 town managers later, I meet Alex. Hopefully it's the last one I have to meet. But the first meeting was absolutely wonderful. I sat down in his office and I got scared. He goes, you know, Janet, I don't want to fund your department, community services. I don't want to fund youth services. John, did you hear that? And I don't want to fund the police. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, because that would be a perfect world if we had no problems in the town and the youth were all perfect and there was no crime. But as the town manager, those departments are so important to me and so important to the town council. And what a wonderful message when you meet someone that you know they support your office, youth services, the police, everything. And the town council. He let me know that everybody felt that was important. It was probably one of the best meetings. I'm going to say that Alex shows up at a lot of our functions with the volunteers. People say, oh my God, that's the town manager. I go, yeah, he comes. You know, it's just absolutely wonderful, the rapport we've had. And again, please, no more. 4 is enough for me.
The budget's done, there's no raise for you,
I
Jan,
know.
I'm sorry.
So I talked about 155 volunteers, and sometimes, you know, people say, how do you manage it? So we have like 12 different groups, and we have one volunteer who really kind of oversees it, and I meet with them. And they're the most dedicated volunteers in the world. We do have a volunteer party once a year, which is wonderful, and everybody's invited to come. We're having it early this year because we're losing 2 of our best volunteers, John and Robin Talley, so it's going to be a goodbye to them. Now, for our office, anyone can come to the office. You could have any problem. There's no income guidelines. You got a letter you didn't understand, call us. You can't find a phone number because there's no phone books. Call us, we'll Google it. We'll do whatever you want. But there are a lot of functions we do for qualified income-based clients, and I'm just going to go through. The prom program, Operation Warmth. We're actually the Fair Housing and Relocation Office for Southington. And just so you know, we only had one complaint of fair housing that was possibly a complaint, and we were able to fix it immediately with the landlord in our office. So actually, there was no written fair housing at all in all the years I've been here. That's huge in Southington. We've had a few relocation, but that's where the town steps in and protects the tenant, so that's okay. And the town stepped in every single time and did exactly what they were supposed to do. I'm proud of that. And then one of the things is we really depend on people like Evelyn, and she's here right now. I'm going to have her come up. So Evelyn does backflips for, and she wanted to challenge the council. I said, I don't know how they're going to feel about that with backflips, so I'm going to have Evelyn talk about that.
Evelyn, you want to see Mr. Del Santo do backflips? Janet, would you close the computer so we can see Evelyn, please? Thank you. Oh, maybe not all the way. Sorry, that's right.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Hawley. I live at 115 Joanna Circle. For a 3rd year in a row, I am doing backflips for backpacks this Saturday on the 16th on the town green from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The rain date is on the 17th. I am collecting back to school supplies for those in need. Everything will go to the Southington Community Service. For every backpack donated, I will do a backflip. If you would like to donate and can't make it, we can arrange pickup times with my mom. My first year, I collected 100 backpacks. Last year, I collected 121 backpacks. This year, I would like to collect more than 130. The school supplies needed this year are crayons, markers, colored pencils, notebooks, backpacks, glue sticks, black dry erase markers, pencil cases, and mechanical pencils, and red pens. I hope you can make it, and Paul, can you put my flyer on the website? Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Evelyn. Good job. And since I kind of thought you were going to challenge us, we got started from the town council. Hopefully there'll be some more coming, but we did start off, and we're going to give you a backpack. Here it is. So I'm going to come bring it to you. This is from the council.
But we need a
We
flip.
still have time to do more, right? All right. And we also have for you, for your 3rd year, a pin from the town as well, okay? For all of your hard work and all the
Thank you.
people that you help.
Thank you.
Good job, okay?
Thank you for all your support. I've seen everybody that's sitting here doing something and helping our office out. Thank you. We have the most generous community in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Okay, thank you so much for a great presentation. We're going to move on to item number 5, the Yeti program presentation. And I think, Mr. Town Manager,
Ishmael is here.
we're going to ask Mr. Ishmael to lead us onto this another great initiative. We've heard so much, we've seen so much of all the work all of you have been doing.
I think I only brought 9 of those. I didn't realize how big this council was.
Hopefully, we didn't put it to sleep.
No, it's good. It's good. So, So while I talk, I'm just going to have a slideshow run in the background, so you could get an idea of all the great stuff these guys did.
Is it? It may take a minute, John, for it to reset, or
Okay.
a few.
Okay. I'll get going. Once we see it light up, just give me a nod or something.
Okay.
Good evening, council. Those of you here from the public, my name is John Esmail, and I stand in front of you humbled as I'm the supervisor of Southington Youth Services, and I say that because I grew up in the town of Southington, and I was fortunate enough to have a lot of good people around me and supports to do all those things to like to say that I'm fairly successful in what I've been able to do in my community and in other places. So it's my pleasure to be up here today. As Southington Youth Services, our mission is to plan, coordinate, and provide resources and services that foster the healthy development of youth in our community. Herein lies the Yeti program. It's the Youth Empowerment Team Initiative, and it was a brainchild of myself and Mr. Dan Patterson, who's a teacher over at the Karen Smith Academy. We are looking for creative ways for their students to fulfill some service needs, along with there's a state statute that allows credit to be earned through community service and hours in the classroom. So 2 summers ago, we created this Yeti program, and it was a play on a nickname we had for his father. He was the Yeti, so we called it the Youth Empowerment Team Initiative, and it kind of stuck. It was super successful. Unfortunately, but fortunately for his family, he wasn't allowed to do it any longer because there was an addition to his family. He had his 4th child. So rather than rushing his replacement, we decided to just kind of take a break and put the program on hold. Yeah, you're messing my flow up, Alex. So we put the program on hold, and because we knew we needed the right person to step in and do that role. So insert David Miller. And unfortunately, Mr. Miller is not here. He is on vacation right now. He ran our Yeti program, he tutored, and he did extended school years. So there's a much needed break on his end that we're excited that he could finally take. So our mission with the Yetis is simple: connect teens with meaningful opportunities to serve their community, learn valuable skills, and grow into active, responsible citizens. This summer, we saw that exactly what happens when you give young people the tools and guidance and trust to lead. 25 teens, part of the program, committing their time, energy, and heart to projects all over the town. Can I steal one of those back from you, Jack? So some of the program highlights. We got all hands on deck to get this projector going. I love it. I think it would do a disservice to these guys and gals if we didn't get to see what they did. Some program highlights. 25 youth participated in the 2025 summer session. 150 total service sessions attended. That equaled up to 500 community service hours of volunteer work. All right. Yeah, so if you hit, I think if you hit view album and then play highlights.
If you'll just do the lights.
Come on, Steve.
Thank you.
Good. So they participate in a wide range of projects, including organized food pantry cells, bagging meals. They built an accessory ramp, painted and reorganized sheds, built flower planters, cleaned a fence, built shelving, cleaned and sanitized toys, created toy kits, unpacked materials, organized different spaces, helped with the Italian festival setup, moving tables and chairs, unloading supplies. They painted the dugouts at the Little League fields, picnic tables, groomed the bocce courts, stained railings at all the parks in downtown. They prepared the mural for, the shed for the mural down next to the pond at Memorial Park. They restored electrical boxes and the kiosks on the town green. They painted the advertisement structures. They built baskets, those flower baskets to hang around Plantsville. And while the projects were important, what was just as powerful was watching these guys and gals grow as teens, learning teamwork, leadership, problem-solving skills. They learned that giving back isn't about the task. It's about the people you're connecting with and serving in the community that you're serving. So I want to introduce some of our team members here. We have Aiden Benway, Aiden Curillo, I don't know if I pronounced that right, Ben McCallum, Chase Grabowski, Luke Martinelli, and Nina Ouellette. So I know Nina and Aiden wanted to say something about the impact of the program for them.
Please. And when you start, just for the record, start by telling us your name and address, okay? Or just your name.
Okay. Hello, my name is Aiden, and I want to point out the significance that the Yetis program had in my life. So, to begin, I joined the Yetis program in the beginning with the intent of helping others. However, as I was volunteering, I learned something new. I learned that volunteering doesn't only affect the people around me and my community, it also affects myself. One quality that the Yetis program has helped me to build is problem solving, teamwork, and communication.
Excellent. Nice job. There he goes.
Hi, I'm Nina Ouellette, a sophomore at Southington High School. I believe that Yeti has made a big change in our community, from painting dugouts and picnic tables at local parks to helping early childhood education. The Yeti program has proved that one small group can lead to a huge impact in our community.
Thank you. Nice job. I see they even have some Yeti shirts.
They do.
That's great.
Yeah, we made those. Those are great. Did one of you guys have, when I passed out the paper, the statement from Mr. Miller?
Yes.
I think I might have passed that.
Right here.
So I'd be remiss if I didn't give Mr. Miller the proper recognition that he deserves. We had the conversation throughout the school year. I was really kind of in a tough spot on who that person was going to be. I've known Mr. Miller since some time spent at DePaulo. He was a para. He ended up going back and get his teaching degree in special ed and making an impact at the high school. I've known him for a really long time. And it just seemed like a natural synergy that he was the person that we were going to pick to lead the program. It's unfortunate that he's not here. Like I said, he was so good with the communication, recruiting the kids, coordinating the projects with all the partners. It was you know, I feel, and I think a fraud is a lack of a better term. He's the guy who should be up here talking about this and all the great stuff that all these guys done. I just got to sit back and see all the good stuff that he was doing. I said, hey, if you need anything, you let me know. So we want to extend this into the school year. We want to be kind of the one-stop shop for any type of community service. We want to be that hub as we move forward with this program. And I really want to emphasize when we invest in our young people that we're going to get a return on investment in our community, because they are our future, and they are the ones that will be sitting up here one day and making decisions for, you know, how this community is going to look. And I have to say they're better people than I was at 14 or 15 years old for the impact and stuff that they're doing in this community. So I give it all up to these representatives of our group. And with that, we have a special presentation from Lake Compounds, and Meg Forno is here to recognize our Yeti group.
Hi, Meg. Thanks for coming out.
I feel like I should stay on this
Sure,
side,
go
talk to
for it.
these guys. So on behalf of Lake Compounds, we're just really proud of you guys, proud of the work you're doing for the community. And, you know, Lake Compounds wouldn't be here without the community. And we encourage everybody to visit whenever they get a free chance. But I wanted to give you guys each a 4-pack of tickets to come enjoy the park one day with your friends and family for the great service that you put out for the community of Southington. So great job. And please extend this heartfelt warmth and thanks to the rest of your group, and continue to do the great work. We want to see more of it.
Nice job. Great job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much to the Yeti volunteers. It's wonderful that you all are helping in the community and using this as an opportunity also to grow yourself. And hopefully you also are making some friendships along the way with each other that will hopefully last a lot longer than just the volunteer work you did that one time and will continue to do.
And then I would be remiss, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
The Yeti program had a Thank the Volunteers lunch last week, and Capital Grill out of New Britain sponsored it. They donated all the food. I don't know if they donated the charcoal, but I stopped by. It was delicious. The Cappy sauce was out of this world, so thanks to Capital Lunch and thanks to Lake Compounds as well for the support.
Capital Lunch. Thank you. Thank you. Nice job. Would anybody else like to say a few words on the Yeti program? Jack, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I had a meeting with Alex a few weeks ago, and he asked me if I minded rescheduling the location, and it was down at Memorial Park, and I got to see them in action. It was an awesome opportunity to see the kids in the community at a young age getting involved and helping out. So I want to thank Alex, for extending that invitation to me, and John and everyone else down there that, was working hard. And, I think it's a great program and look forward to supporting it in any way that I possibly can.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Just real quick. John, don't sell yourself short. You do so many great things in this town for youth. So I know Mr. Miller couldn't be here, but don't sell yourself short. I know my kids have a bond with John just because he's involved with youth athletics and he's always around. So I want all the young men and ladies today to really appreciate yourselves for what you did, because we have knuckleheads in this town, young and old, that are either spray painting walls or doing things that they should not be doing. and then we talk about you guys who are out beautifying things. You could look at that, and then a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, you can drive by and say, hey, I had a hand in fixing that fence, or I had a hand in painting that, that dugout. So it's real meaningful. So give yourselves a nice round of applause. Great job. Keep up the good work. Tell your friends. Invest in your town, especially if you're planning on living here for the rest of your lives, which a lot of us up here have been here life longers. Nice job. Keep up the good work.
I'm going to read the message from Mr. Miller. He put, I'm pleased with the success of the Yetis volunteer program, which just completed an incredibly impactful 6-week summer session. In only a short time, our youth volunteers demonstrated extraordinary dedication, teamwork, and community spirit. Collectively, the Yetis contributed over 500 hours towards beautifying our town spaces, supporting local events, and promoting civic pride. Their work not only helped meet community needs, but also fostered leadership, responsibility, and a strong sense of pride. The program has exceeded expectations in both participation and impact. Parents, staff, and town residents have praised the Yetis for their energy, reliability, and positive attitude. The success of the initiative is a powerful reminder of what can be accomplished when we invest in our youth and create opportunities for them to engage meaningfully with their community. We look forward to continuing and expanding the Yetis program, building on this summer's momentum and the foundation it has laid.
Thank you, John. John, why don't you take that and submit that to the town clerk at the end, and we'll put that into the record. And if you, into the meeting minutes, and if you have the presentation as well, and you can make a PDF and send it to the clerk, we'll include that in the meeting minutes as well. Thanks. Great job. Always great to hear from you and the team. Okay, we're moving on to item 6, councilperson communications. Tony.
Sure, yeah, Mr. Chair. This is a continuation of something that we've been chatting the last meetings or so, and it's the America 250 committee. We now have a list of names to be on that committee, number one. Number two, we have a way of working, which is to have a very small committee, smallish from terms of number of people on it, but one that's capable of organizing something like this. And there will be reach out to pretty much all institutions in town. Representatives are doing something, to celebrate the next year, the founding of our great nation. I don't want to go into discussion about this now. I'd rather have us, I'd rather make a motion to add this to new business in this, in this meeting tonight. The reason being is that this is a committee that's essentially nominated by the council, by the chairman, and I think we ought to have the discussion then, as opposed to having it during council communications, which is designed for something else. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion, if I could.
Second.
Second, just to add it as business item, new business 12B, to discuss the America 250 committee and actually, nominate these people to it if the council feels prepared to do that tonight.
So we have a motion and a second from Mr. Del Santo to add item 12B, appointment of America 250 ad hoc subcommittee. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed to adding the agenda item? Okay, the motion passes, so we'll take that up under 12B. Thank you. Anybody else on councilperson communications? Jen?
So I want to make one final push for the Plan of Conservation and Development survey that closes on August 15th. As a reminder, the Plan of Conservation and Development is a 10-year plan mandated by the state, but it's a long-range planning tool for our community that serves as a guide and a blueprint for decisions that we make in town. And it covers a myriad of categories like economic development, conservation strategies, housing development, natural resources. So it's really important. If you haven't taken it, please take it. You can find it on the town website. It's right on the landing page, or there's flyers with QR codes in this building, in the town hall, in the library. You can also find it on social media as well. So please take the time. It will take 10 to 15 minutes, but it's time well spent. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Val?
Jen, can I just ask a couple questions on the?
Yeah.
So does it need to be closed out on August 15th?
Yes, because we're having our next meeting at the end of August to discuss the data that comes out of it, so we can move along with the plan.
The only reason I say that is because with the summertime, you know, there's sometimes people are traveling a lot, and, you know, I'm just wondering if maybe another if it can wait till your September meeting.
Yeah, unfortunately, it
You're
can't,
trying to
because
stay
now
on
we
that
have to,
deadline.
we really have to have this done. We had the deadline is, it has to be voted on, I believe, in May by this council.
Right.
So we have a really short amount of time to do the remainder of the planning.
Yep.
And it's based on a few factors that are critical, which is data that the third-party consult provides to us, but also the community feedback. And this is only one piece of the community feedback, the survey. We're going to have 2 other community meetings for others to come and provide feedback as well.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to ask about. So I had looked at the RFP, and it's really great to see that community engagement is a huge piece of this. It sounds like. So I wanted to ask, on paragraph 7, it talks about leading a robust program of community engagement throughout the process. What else will be done for community engagement? Will it be like meetings? Will it be
It's going to be in-person meetings. Yep.
with specific people?
With, what do you mean by specific?
Like focus group type? Will there be
No,
focus groups, or just
everyone's allowed-
everybody's invited?
Yep, everyone's invited. You know, of course, we'll reach out to stakeholders in the community and, you know, try to bring in as many people as we can, but everyone in the community is invited.
And how will they receive notice of it?
We'll have the same way that we kind of put out the survey, social media, flyers, announcements at meetings
It'll
like
go on the
this.
town manager's page,
The town
social media.
manager's page.
And we should probably maybe put it at the senior center, calendar house or something like that.
Right. So that will be a couple different dates.
Yes, and once I have the specific dates, then I'll
can announce them here.
them, yeah.
So the other question, I had a couple more questions. So how are the stakeholders, who will be some of the stakeholders, just as examples?
It would be community stakeholders like Rotary, Unico, possibly land develop, you know, people that have stakeholder interests in land development. The last go-around was in 2016. And we had, I want to say at our community in-person meeting, we had probably 30-ish people. It's really hard to get people to attend the in-person meeting, which is why I'm really happy we did the survey this time, because we're going to have a lot more feedback this time than last.
So is the committee talking about certain stakeholders, like putting a list together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So if people are if there's people out there, if there's organizations or business owners or developers, can they contact you or the committee? And
Yes,
Okay,
yes. So
all
we
right.
did put a list together when we put out the town manager's. Yeah.
I have a list of probably 50 or 60 names from every church, every civic organization, to every nonprofit, to the land trust, to the developers. So they've all, and we'll resend it out with those invites, the soft invites for the in-persons as well.
Yeah.
because that's really important, I think.
Because what happens, because we put together the list, and those stakeholders have distribution lists that they can then send. So that's how, another way that the survey was sent out as well.
Right. So, and the last question, in the RFP, it talks about an engagement plan identifying and including underrepresented members of the community. So what does that look like? What is the committee thinking? Who would be considered underrepresented members of the community? Have you identified?
I don't think
groups?
we've gotten to the point of identifying them yet.
Okay, but those are those members that will be reached out to? That you
Yes,
will
absolutely,
bring-
and that's why it's critical to have the consultant, because this is what they do for all towns. So they have a better knowledge of how to reach, underrepresented residents than we as a committee do.
Okay, all right.
I think as part of the group also, I'm assuming we have Southington Housing Authority on there, the churches. So there'll be a number of organizations, Southington Community Services, who also helps some
Right,
folks. So
so
there'll be,
to help identify those groups or
Exactly.
those people. to
and
make
we're
sure that they're
encouraged
being
also,
involved.
we're encouraged to participate and go as well and give our ideas on also getting people involved.
Yep.
The more
And-
voices, the better.
And Jen, the dates of the meetings, are they on they're on the town website?
They're not set yet.
Right,
They're to be determined.
right,
I thought I saw a list of the meetings.
I believe there's deadlines, but I don't think the POCD committee has voted on hard dates yet.
right, there's kind of a guideline in terms of months.
Monthly?
Yeah, but
Okay.
our next meeting is the only one that will be posted right now. And then once we firm up the community input dates, then we'll
You'll put
be able
those
to,
dates in.
yeah.
So people should be aware that it's a subcommittee for the plan of conservation and development. That's what
Right.
they should look for.
Right, and the subcommittee is out of the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Commission,
Yeah.
okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate that, I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure
and if
that
you have
that's-
any questions, feel free to contact me anytime, yeah.
Thanks.
And once these go, also at the Planning and Zoning Committee, there will be public hearings on all of the recommendations. So there'll be opportunities even afterwards with the recommendations. There'll be public hearings on, hearing the output of the POCD before it's adopted as well. So a long journey still. And I'm sure we'll hear more updates along the way and more dates. So thank you. Anybody else have questions for Jen?
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, please.
if we're done with that?
All set with the POCD?
Yep.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, I
Please.
just had one quick thing. I just wanted to mention we're talking about so much of this community service. Some members of the robotics team, a couple weeks ago, were at Animal Control, and they just did some great work outside and some hard work, and then helping with the walkways that we have in the woods and laying down mulch and clearing out paths for volunteers to take the dogs on walks. So, they were there for a good amount of time, and they just did a great job. So I just want them to know that their work is very much appreciated, and we just want a big shout out to them for doing that.
Thank you, Val. That facility's coming a long way. Many years of work for
Yeah.
you and all the volunteers who are involved in the
Yeah,
two
it's-
volunteer groups, so thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else? Chris?
Yep, Paul and I actually had the pleasure of visiting 3 graduating seniors from Southern High School that are going to be entering the military. Now, normally we have a military luncheon for students right here in this room at the end of the school year. However, these 3 students, for one reason or another, were not able to, or were not in attendance at least at the luncheon. So we did present them with the council citations that we presented to all the students that day. So we had the pleasure to recognize the 3 students are Madison Stonisfer, William Flanagan, and Justin Luffberry. So I think they were all very appreciative of the fact that the full town council was recognizing them for their service. So that was just a nice way to send them off and let them know they have the town's support.
We did the unannounced visit to the house.
Yeah.
It actually was nice. It was really nice to see some surprises.
It was unscripted, that's
Yeah.
for sure, yeah. Second thing I have, just an announcement. LEAF, we talk a lot about LEAF up here. They are sponsoring their 3rd annual Harvest Hoedown. This will be right on site on the LEAF property. So that will be Sunday, September 7th. And if you want information, you can find it at leafharvesthoedown.com. But I'd also like to submit, hopefully we can put it in the minutes, we're looking for sponsors for the event. There's a presenting sponsor, premium sponsor, platinum sponsor, gold, silver, bronze, and harvest sponsors. So I can put this in the minutes. So we're looking for any local businesses to sponsor the event again this year, and it's the 3rd annual event on the Leaf site.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. And then the last thing I wanted to bring up for the town manager, I spoke to Representative Poulos, and I understand that we're getting, which is great for the town, additional TAR funding, Town Aid Road funding, in the amount of approximately $347,451. So I'd really like to see that money go to expand the list of the roads that were already allocated, because I know we had, I think it was about $500,000 allocated for the roads. So now we've got a little over $173,000 each of the next fiscal years. So is there a way we can increase the amount of roads that will be serviced with that amount of money?
So there's two parts. One, yes, money helps, but two is capacity of the pavers. And Mr. Norris is here. I don't know if he has any insight in that, but Tilcon and the ONG and some of the other pavers only have certain allotted days that they'll give us. So we will attempt to use the money and to get more days, more paving, but we can't guarantee that they will give us more days because they come in and out on a very specified calendar year.
Is there a way we can, if they can't provide the work, I mean, we're welcome to it, but if they can't, is there a way we can go to another subcontractor to do the work?
We will, it's tough to find them because everyone's booked, but we will absolutely look into that, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's about half a dozen or so big players in the state that can do it, but there are some smaller ones that can do probably some side roads and some smaller.
And with this amount of money, it is a good amount for.
Absolutely.
I just know how important the roads are for our residents. We hear about it all the time. And with this additional funding that we have for it, and it's specific for roads, I'd like to see it used.
Absolutely.
To expand that list and get more done.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it would be good. I don't know, since we want to make sure everybody kind of agrees with that, I'd like to hear from the entire council. I personally agree. You know, I know that it's oftentimes difficult. We try to pave during the school year and not disrupt school buses and all that, but, you know, it's been a priority. Roads have been a priority for the town for the last few years. We've increased the spend through the referendum last year. So I think it's appropriate that we put a full court press and try to use the money that we've received, the additional money, for for improving roads, whatever that looks like. So if we can get other people's, nobody has any issue with that, I'm assuming? Anybody? Because we'll direct the town manager then to look into that and report back at the next meeting how we might be able to get that done.
I appreciate it.
But
Okay.
Mr. Chair, the only problem is we're fighting the calendar.
Yeah.
Because the chief does not want any roads being done when there's school buses out there.
Yep.
So,
Understood.
And even
But
for
we-
next year, even
Yeah,
next year, if we
and
plan
next year,
ahead,
absolutely.
yeah, whatever, or like you said, if there's small side streets that maybe aren't impacted as much.
I'm sure we could find a compromise if we need to.
absolutely.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jack?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So to piggyback off of that, I understand the paving schedule and school schedule. I know that it's been discussed several times at our public works meetings in regards to certain roads, one of them more specifically Russell Road and Todd Road. It's to our understanding that that is not just a simple mill and pave. There's catch basins that are currently recessed because the road has deteriorated to the point that the yards have taken over it, that the catch basins are recessed into the yards. So in my opinion, you can't get a proper scan on that road. And I know we do the street scan, we're waiting for that data to come back, but technically if you drove along the gutter where the gutter should be, it's actually a lawn, and it would, be classified as a 0 because there's grass growing there. So that may be a good, look at. I know Dave in engineering is looking at it. IMTL came out and did boring samples. So that road's going to need a lot, and I don't think our our bonding that we did for the paving of the roads is going to touch that road or it's going to offset. So maybe that's a way to kind of get a little creative, is maybe it's, you doing some of the catch basins over. I know Dave's team has to try to formulate a plan because, again, the road has gotten smaller by, the grass overtaking it, and there's trees and stuff. So there's a lot there, and I'm sure that's not the only road in town that, is going to face that. So maybe that's a way that we could get creative, because they're going to have to get done at some point in time, and I don't think our bonding that we've done, will cover that, or it will reduce what we're milling and paving. So that's one thing. Another thing, I was actually at Rec Park this past weekend. I saw Mr. Palmeri there, and my son and some of his classmates from the YMCA. We decided to get them all together because now that they're starting kindergarten this year, they're all going to different schools. So we, got all the families together from his class, and we went to enjoy the pool, which I will say is my first time going to the pool since it's been redone, and it is phenomenal. It's awesome. There's a pavilion there that we looked at trying to rent out, and it was booked, which was a good thing, for weeks out. I was told that it's out into September. So I know we took down some trees over there. I would encourage the town manager, maybe work with town staff, to try seeing if there's, a demand for maybe another pavilion. The YMCA has done it over the years that families gotten involved. We did it at the drive-in. There may be an opportunity to do another pavilion there, which helps complement the use of the pool that we spent a lot of money on. So I just, try to see things of advancing or, helping out the community and the efforts or the monies that we spent. I think it's just a great thing that families are getting together and using the town pools. But at the same time, it's hard when there's not a pavilion available. So when we were there was actually a birthday party going on at the pavilion, so that was pretty cool to see as well. So it is definitely being used, which is awesome.
Maybe we could have the town manager refer that to the Parks Board for an analysis and recommendation.
And possibly look for some grants too.
Yep.
There's a lot of grants for stuff like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, just the turnout over the last weekend was pretty big. People were grilling as well down there, so it was nice to see. And I'm sure you could look at the data of who's going to the pool. I'm guaranteeing that the usage is higher than it's been now that it's all been remodeled, all redone. So I think that, there's opportunities to enhance it and make it more of a, attraction or things to do in our community. Another thing that I want to address is we got that email from Alex the other day in regard to an accident in Plantsville, and a vehicle was taken by an employee. And Alex mentioned, in the email in regards to some town property being damaged and our deductible and all that. I would love for us to first go after, if possible, the motor vehicle that is insured, rather than taxpayers' money to fix any of the repairs or damages to town property. I know I sent that email. I didn't respond. There was no response, but at the same time, I understand it was the entire council, and it's just more of an FOI. And that is all I have.
Okay. Any, I think, as far as the motor vehicle, I don't know if motor vehicles aren't insured, but people are insured. So I think the first course of business would be the town manager to work with the town attorney and decide how to handle that. I don't know if you were briefed. I mean, when something like this happens, does it go to the town attorney for, we have insurance carrier, we have to make a decision as to whether our deductible is going to cover this or not cover this? Can you describe a little bit about how that process works?
I'll meet with the town manager tomorrow and get the information and look into it. I don't know the facts of what happened, so I can meet with him after.
We only
the-
received that one email, so it'd be good to look a little deeper into it. That's fine, thanks.
I think the pertinent fact was that the vehicle was stolen, which means it's a non-permissive. So I'm not sure we're going to get insured. Not sure we're going to get insured for that. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, it was taken by an employee that had access to the vehicle. I know as a small business owner, it's my responsibility to, vet out my employees and if they're not supposed to be taking the vehicle. But I can tell you, if somebody took one of my garbage trucks and drove it through somebody's home, even if it was stolen or not, there's insurance as far as a business that follows that.
We'll have the town attorney look into that.
Yeah, I just don't want to see the damages coming out of our funds, that's all.
Thank you. Hi,
speak to
Cheryl,
that?
I'm
Can I
sorry, you're
speak
not,
to that
you can't
briefly?
speak to that, Cheryl, I'm sorry. We're not in, you can speak to that during public communications. Thanks. Okay. Anybody else? We're gonna have the town attorney look into that and advise us at the next meeting how things look. Sorry about that, Cheryl. We just can't take public comment right now, but later we can hear from you. Okay. Jim, Mr. Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair, I wanted to bring to your attention a pretty serious safety issue that I witnessed a couple weeks ago regarding something we had already talked about. I was leaving the Walmart parking lot headed north on Route 10 at the stoplight. There were several cars headed south waiting at the light, and I noticed across the street there were two young guys on bicycles that had pushed the cross button. As the light turned green for the cars to exit Walmart, they also got a green light, and they proceeded to go across the street. Well, two cars pulled out very quickly. One went in front of them, one went behind them, and they were able to cross the street. It was very scary. I was really concerned for them. So I actually went up the street, turned around, and that one tracked them down. And I asked them, you know, if they were okay, obviously, and they said, oh, yeah, this happens to us all the time. It happens to us over by the Southington Auto Body when we cross Starling Street, and yeah, we have a problem all the time. I asked their names, and they were happy to tell me that. I also identified myself as a town councilor, and they were happy to tell me that they knew Principal Palmieri, that they were going to the high school this year, and that they travel up and down that road quite often. They actually were going to Aroma Joe's. And so it just so happens, well, I got their information because I wanted to go to the police department and file a report. And it just so happens that I was in the parking lot at Walmart. There was a Southington police officer there, and they happened to come back from Aroma Joe's into the parking lot while I was there. So I asked them to talk to the officer. I asked the officer if he wanted me to go to the station. He said no. I did talk to Paul about this, and again, we have these buttons on West Street at several locations. We have them on Queen Street on several locations, and they trick the people into thinking that when they push that button, they're gonna be able to cross the road properly. All it does is it gives a green light to the side road, and it makes the Route 10 traffic stop. And so they don't have any kind of right to pass. So anyway, I don't know what we do about that. It's a DOT issue, obviously, but to me, it's a very serious safety issue.
Isn't this something the police chief can weigh in on?
We talked about it in the pub, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I've brought this up 3 times, and we've asked the DOT a couple times, most recently a couple months ago. It's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's just unacceptable that the DOT gives us an answer that says they're working properly and that's it. I mean, we have a 4-lane road with Route 10, that's the state road, and the sign, when you go up and push the button, the sign at the button says, push for green. I mean, how misleading could that, it couldn't be any more misleading. Push button for green light. Well, when you look across the street, a green light appears. And the problem is, it's not a green light for pedestrians, it's the vehicular green light. So people believe that it's safe to cross the road, and people are trying to cross the road, and there's cars coming right at them. It's unacceptable that we let this happen, and we can't continue. We need to do something about this. So we need to have, we need to have I don't care if the DOT comes here, comes to Public Works, but the emails are not working. These things are not working, and if this continues, they may as well just shut them off. It's safer to not have them than to have them misleading a pedestrian into walking into a 4-lane road, state highway, that people are gonna get hurt. And so I think we gotta do something about this.
Just one other suggestion. So right out here, for example,
Yeah,
it
it's the
works
same-
properly. No, it
Well,
works
that's a
properly.
crosswalk.
Right, so why don't we talk to the chief about putting in a
These aren't
traditional?
crosswalks, they won't put more crosswalks.
But why?
This is the
Slows
question. They won't answer that
According to
question.
the chief, it slows down traffic.
So just so I understand, is it the police chief?
No.
Or is it the Department of Transportation?
DOT. It's the state DOT will not put crosswalks there. They said, those push buttons are working properly, and that's all we're getting.
No,
That's what
not-
it's unacceptable. We have
They
to.
said that's the way they used to.
We need to get our state representatives, our state senator, whoever it is. We have to do something.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
just not safe.
I've worked with Mr. Norse, who's here several times. We've gone back and forth with the DOT. I'll talk to him. We'll talk this week, see if we can escalate the situation to somebody at DOT, possibly the commissioner, before we, go to the politicians. I'd like to try to give them one more shot to give some answers.
I would encourage you both, since the town engineer is here, I would encourage you to go on a field trip on Queen Street and go to a few of the push buttons and see. Stand there. I sent a video to you guys a couple months ago, a month or so ago, of the very same incident at Price Chopper. I mean, how can we not have a crosswalk at Price Chopper? There's pedestrian, there's businesses there, and the response from the DOT was, it's working fine. So I'd encourage you to go out before you call them and just check it out, see how they operate. And I would encourage you to do some time studies to see if that button actually affects any timing of the traffic light, because I don't see it.
Get on the bus. Take the. Well, even if it did, it's only how many people cross the road.
Right. It should stop traffic.
Can
Yeah.
I ask, do you know, I mean, Route 10 crosses a lot of towns. Can you check with the other towns if they're having the same?
It's crazy.
Well, I mean, think about it.
Yeah. Lazy Lane, where Lazy Lane is,
Oh.
at the bottom of Lazy Lane, there's one of the same thing. There's one of those push buttons at the gas station across the street.
But other towns must be going through the same thing,
Maybe, yeah.
right?
So we'll have the town manager look into it, right? And the town engineer is here. We're so glad you came out and stayed, Dave.
Mr.
Jack, go ahead.
Based on my memory at the last Public Works meeting, the chief did state that something was done differently down on Queen Street, maybe near Chick-fil-A or something, if I remember correctly. They changed it up when they redid something down there. The state did at some point, so they fixed the issue, I guess, at certain parts of Queen Street, maybe. Does that ring a bell, Mike?
Doesn't. I think Paul nailed it. The DOT came back and said, yeah, they're working fine. We get they're trash, but they're working fine. They're ineffective. And there's a false sense of safety. Because you're getting that green light, you think, oh, I'll be able to cross the street. But what it doesn't say is that those, like Lazy Lane, now has a green light that's going to turn right into you if you're walking across the street.
Jack, I think he said that those were earlier versions and that now they do the full crosswalk.
Yeah, he said something on
Said it was
Queen
different.
Street that there's something different farther down, so maybe ask DOT what that is specifically, and maybe we can implement it at these other locations as well.
Yeah. I really would hate to see somebody get hurt here. I mean, it's a glaring problem, and there's no question that this is a serious issue.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that up. Anybody else? Okay, I have one item. We've received a number of communications on mailbox issues in the vicinity of Churchill Road. I think it's called Winchester Estates. A new development that's adjacent to Churchill Road off of West Street. And the short story, for those who might not know, is that there's a new development in town that has already received approval, site plan approval, built homes, built roads, installed mailboxes at the single-family homes. And then at some point after all these things were installed, a notification was received that the local postmaster is not going to deliver mail to those. And that a design for, what's the term? It's
Bank
cluster mailboxes, which is basically, a bank of mailboxes is required for that. The problem is, from what I understand, is town staff wasn't notified of these new regulations, so that when these subdivisions for the last few years have been approved, there's no knowledge that this is now a post office requirement. It wasn't communicated that you have to change your zoning regulations. It wasn't communicated that these developments need to be, need to now have these cluster mailboxes. Is that correct?
The regulations came out May 2020. As you can imagine.
From the post office.
Post office was not actively enforcing and communicating well. We were in the middle of a lockdown. The development you're talking about, Mr. Chairman, is Winchester Estates. That was approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission December of 2023. And this is the first development in town that we know about that's had this issue. The developer requested an overruling or exception to policy on 2 occasions. Both were denied by the post office, and even when it was escalated to the higher level. So we're told there's no local decision-making authority or a way to overrule at this point. So that's where the town's been at. I can tell you that the chairman of the Planning and Zoning Commission has asked town staff and the planning department to propose a set of text change amendments to residential subdivisions. So in the future, the proposed layout, so the way it works is the developer and the postmaster and the town have to make that decision. But the chairman of the town, of the Planning and Zoning Commission, is asking for a text change to have proposed layouts in place. So when they approve it in P&Z, they can say, hey, these are the ones that we've looked at. If the postmaster agrees on it, it's great. If not, they can come back and change their site plan.
So the issue that we're running into is, so these changes were made by the post office in 2020. We have had subdivisions that have been approved after 2020 that have been allowed to put mailboxes in at the residence, single mailbox, single residence. But for some reason, this one is not being allowed. So we have a really sticky situation because we have a development that's developed. We have owners of property who there's nowhere to put this mailbox, this bank of mailboxes, because the properties have been purchased. And so, putting them on the existing Churchill Road is also not an ideal situation. So I've taken the step to reach, I know that town staff has worked with the applicant to try to support getting this through the post office. We've been denied in the past few months. I've reached out to Senator Sampson, who's helping look into this, but I've also reached out to Congressman Larson. I spoke to the minority lead, Chris Palmieri. I've spoken to Congressman Larson's office twice. I plan to submit a letter tomorrow to Congressman Larson's office. They've given me some instructions on what we need to provide, so I've gathered all the background information. There's no guarantees that we're going to be able to do anything here, but they have at least agreed to look, open the door, look into this, and see if there's something at the federal level with the Postmaster General that could be done to get this exception approved, understanding that, after this one, at the very least, we will have requirements in zoning regulations so that this stuff does not occur again. So that's kind of where we are. I'm hopeful that we can open a dialogue and get this taken care of, because we have new residents who are feeling disenfranchised. We have old residents who are feeling disenfranchised in the existing subdivision. So Chris and I will continue to communicate to the representatives, the senator and the congressman, and see if we can see what we can do to try to do this appeal one more time.
Just a little
Please.
update. I also spoke to Congressman Larson's office twice. The latest was today. There is a form that I sent in today.
Yep.
On behalf of town to look into it. It's just because, as we talked about, it's a federal issue, so his office really needs to facilitate the conversation at this point with the postmaster. So
I wanted to wait until tonight to make sure everybody was okay with submitting the form on behalf of the town. So I just want to double check with everybody. Is everybody okay that we're going to, on behalf of the town, ask Congressman Larson to help us? Does anybody have any issue with that?
No.
Okay.
I don't think there's any other way to.
This is it. I mean,
It's a federal issue.
It's a
so
federal issue.
It's probably the best that we could do.
Yeah.
To get them involved.
okay. Good. So that's all I had on councilperson communications on my side. Why don't we move on to item 7, report of special committees, Public Works, Mr. Del Santo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had our meeting last Wednesday. It was a very, very brief meeting, a couple of items to speak about tonight. The chief had talked about the many, many, many complaints he's getting weekly and daily about speeders in town. So just another reminder that folks should not be speeding. We should not be passing cars. There are speed traps all over town. Mill Street has been getting been nabbing people all the time, so I know Mill Street was an issue, and any really straightaway. So he just wants us to remind people that we should not be speeding, especially on local roads. There's families, there's children, so ease up on the speeding. Mr. LaPree reported the bulky waste transfer station that they cleared all the brush out a couple of weeks ago. It looks fantastic there. Continues to be very, very busy. They're getting ready now for leaf season, so that was the reason for that. And then he gave us an update on the roads. Everything is going as planned. There was a couple of week backup because of weather, all the rain that we had early in the season, but they're slated to finish on time. Like I mentioned earlier, the chief is very concerned about getting everything done before school buses hit the road. So we think we'll meet that mark as long as the weather cooperates. It looks like it is. There's nothing really heavy duty coming up. And that's all. I don't know if I missed something. I know Jim spoke about the Route 10. And Jack, I don't know if I missed anything. I know you talked about Russell Road. And
Any questions for Public Works?
You mentioned it, Route 10 with the bridge, correct?
That wasn't part of the meeting, was it? We talked about that after the fact, I think.
Route 10.
The
Oh, right. The town engineer asked, I guess they wanted to communicate with us about where it's going with the Route 10 over 322 bridge. And then when they found out it was going to be at a meeting, they kind of pulled it back and said, we would rather talk to staff. So that's all that was.
Okay.
Yep. And if staff meets with them and thinks that it should come to this board or to the Public Works, then we can take it from there.
that's been about, I don't know, 2 years now?
Long time, and I think it's not even slated till 27 to start, so. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any questions, Public Works? Okay, item 8, Town Managers Report and Communications.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have, on the first note, ICU medical permit. This is something that the town council initially approved in 2007. Mr. Norse drafted a nice memo for the council. I don't know if he wants to come give a couple words on the permit itself for the wastewater and what it is. This is more or less a formality to extend it an additional 5-year term.
David Norse, town engineer. Alex, I think you did a good summary of what the intent of that was. So this is a long-standing application, and they're just looking to extend it another year.
Okay, any questions for the town engineer? Okay, thank you. Item B, Report of Board of Finance.
So the Board of Finance met last week. The minutes are in your packet. There was unanimous recommendations for recommending the approvals of the ordinances, both for the school roofs and for the land acquisition of $2 million. So that is on for action tonight as well.
Any questions on the Board of Finance?
Just one question, Mr. Chair.
Please.
Alex, the items that were discussed, it sounds like the next meeting, do you think the next meeting, these will be on for action? The additional funds for maybe the one-time capital?
They're gonna be on the next agenda as well. That was what was decided. The fire department told me they have an additional item they want to add on to it as well, a small, less than $20,000 item. So they're gonna bring one more item to the request, but yeah, it will be on the next agenda for sure.
For action?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. Item C, Plantsville Pocket Park bids.
So Mr. Norse is here again for the Plantsville Pocket Park bids. As noted, this has been going on for quite some time. The Plantsville Road Safety Project is all but wrapped up. And as you know, as part of this, the town council earmarked, and the Board of Finance earmarked some funds to do a pocket park on the corner of West Main and South Main. So Mr. Norse is here to give a couple of proposals. It did go out to bid for, I'll call it the Type A park. We only had one bidder that bid on it. There are some alternatives that the town staff wanted to present to the council, just to give alternatives, since there only was one bid. But before we get there, Mr. North, before you leave, can you just give a quick briefing on the guardrail issue at McDonald's, just for the council? I know we spoke briefly, but it's part of my report, but I don't want to forget it. Can you give a quick update on what you saw and what you maybe proposing?
Yes, at the South End Road pump station adjacent to McDonald's. There's a pump station there with a generator that's somewhat near the driveway as it wraps around the McDonald's on the South End Road side of the McDonald's. So the guide rail extended towards, it maybe should have extended a little further to provide protection from the approach with this vehicle hit the generator. So my initial thoughts looking at it was that we could install another guide rail system and reach out to the owner about extending it further, providing a more substantial anchor that'll give it more rigidity and increasing the post spacing. And then also another thing we could consider is bollards or concrete blocks in the area behind a guide rail system that would provide a second level of defense.
Okay.
Just a question.
Question? Yeah.
Are we allowed to do that by AASHTO guidelines?
I'm sorry, by what
Are
guidelines?
we allowed to do that by the AASHTO guidelines?
Oh, AASHTO guidelines?
Yeah.
I think if because generally you would want the guide rail system to provide some level of, you'd want it to dampen the crash.
Right.
So you wouldn't want a blunt fixed object directly there to bring the vehicle to an abrupt stop, because that could result in unnecessary injury to the occupant. So if we were to have a guide rail system to soften the blow and allow for that deflection to occur, because general guide rail, that's like what was installed there is like an RB 350 guide rail system. It's intended to deflect up to 4 feet with the post spacing that was available out there. So if we do increase the post spacing, we can reduce that deflection. It would also make it more of an abrupt stop, but you could also have it backed up with a concrete block system behind it.
Okay, all right. Okay, thanks.
Jack?
Thank you. So there's a retaining wall there as well, which I think makes it very unique and difficult, because based on the photos, it looks like, the legs that get pounded into the ground, they just kind of like just came out. So behind retaining walls, there's usually drainage stone.
Mhm.
So it's definitely a unique situation, but
Yes.
obviously keeping the cars from going down and below, I think would obviously be safer. So thank you for looking at that.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, Pocket Park.
Pocket Park. Can you help me get this activated again? I'm prepared to present, the original bid, an alternate. I don't know if the questions are mostly related to just what was the bottom line, the pricing of it. I assume everyone wants to see the map.
We should just leave that big. Yeah, just a 100-inch. Last words. It's never worked right. They replaced it, it doesn't work right.
Oh, it's working. Alex, don't push it. Don't push it.
Uh-oh. Switch user.
John here to log in?
Yeah, do we have John's password?
No, you just hit switch user, bottom left. There you go. Control Alt Delete. MS-DOS. Old school cat.
What's that?
As long as you bring it back.
Yeah, well, this is loading. I can start. As I stated before, my name's David Norse. I'm the town engineer, and I'm here tonight to present the Planceville Parklet project that our office has designed. The existing site, it's located at 766 South Main Street. It's a 0.1 acre parcel located in a CB zone. And this is at the southwest corner of the South Main, West Main, and Main Street intersection. Presently, the lot is a gravel gravel lot, which was the former laydown yard for construction materials and equipment.
Doesn't have the right input.
Doesn't have the right input? No?
Thank you for trying.
Oh, it's kind of like an RGA? No, boy. Okay, well, we have it in our packet.
I have paper copies over there. I could show you a
Yeah,
map of
we
what I
have
have
'em.
over there.
We have them.
Okay, you have them?
Yep.
All right. So the gravel lot as it is presently, that was used for the laydown yard for the Lotsett project, the Plantsville Center Streetscape and Safety Improvement Project. And under the plan that is in your packet, I designed a decorative reinforced concrete wall with a stone veneer on it. It would have a lighting system incorporated along the front face as it faces the road. There's site furnishings, plantings, and a grass area. And one of the main drivers of this project was a history of motor vehicle accidents in the area. And unfortunately, vehicles were departing the roadway and striking a nearby building, most notably the 26 West Main Street property, the present Hop House. And this project would greatly improve safety for users of the potential park, the buildings, and add to the beauty of the area. Under the first option, this option would cost $318,028, and this is the full scope of what was put in the bid, and no reductions included. And under an alternative option, option B in the packet, this was the as-bid option with some reductions in scope. The main reductions I was proposing was we could potentially remove the walkway, the site furnishings, and the light pole that was in the park. With the Plantsville project, 13 new benches were installed in the Plantsville area, and I'm not sure there's really the demand for the furnishings that are shown in the original plan. So I thought that would be a way that we could save some money. And I calculated that we'd save approximately $72,000. And that would bring the total under that option to $245,950. Under that option, I was proposing we could potentially remove the walkway, the site furnishings, and one of the light poles. And I could bring that up just now.
So that's removing like the picnic tables, the 2 picnic tables, the light, the walkway,
Yes, and the benches.
and the benches.
Yes. So I'll just back up a little bit. I'll show the project location map here. So it's right on the corner here for
Now
anyone that may not
I'm
know.
sorry, the projector just went out. There we go.
Okay.
Is it the cord?
Yeah, his cord must be.
Your cord must be,
Yeah.
It's pretty firm in there.
okay.
Okay. I will try to not breathe on it. It's approximately right at this corner, the intersection on the southwest corner of the project, the Plantsville project there. So this is 766 South Main Street. All right, let's go down. So this is the main view of the site plan, and you could see the decorative stone wall is set back from the roadway a little bit, and that is beyond the clear zone to give any drivers that may have lost control and may veer off onto the sidewalk the opportunity to regain control without hitting a fixed object. And this is the walkway that we have shown, that I was showing under the option B, where we could potentially save some money and remove that, remove some of the site furnishings. These are benches here. This is a picnic table, and there's one street light in the middle that would provide enough lighting for this area if anyone walked through it at night potentially. So I've gone over the option A, the full $318,028 option. Option B, reducing the scope down to $245,950, which would provide all the safety amenities that I was mentioning, but just eliminating some of the expensive items like the benches and that light pole. And then under a third option, I was trying to figure out how we could provide the same level of safety improvements, but not creating a walkway with benches. And under this option, we would essentially just be installing planters, a barrier along the building, and creating a grass lot. And I do have a picture of what the planter could look like, if you guys would like to see that.
Yep. And these are like mafia block type, they're concrete, right?
Yes.
Precast?
Yes, I was working directly with F&F Concrete, and they have made concrete planters in the past, but they've never made them in a decorative way. So they were willing to start this project essentially just for us, just for Plantsville. And they were willing to make a sample for us if we wanted to view it in person as well. And these would be 2 feet high and 6 feet long. And in the packet, I have 7 of them shown along the edge of the road. I
Can you
bring
show
up that.
the top level?
Sure.
So this does not include benches, it does not include tables, but does include a walkway and a light post.
I'm showing those items as alternates over here. And under the option C, that $38,000 is just including concrete barrier along the edge of the building here, including the planters and building a garden right here, mulch bed garden right there. Removing the light pole, removing the walkway. And those could ultimately just serve as different phases of a future project. And a lot of this work could. So if we wanted to just do a wall at first, the rest of the park could be installed in phases.
So instead of 318, what would this lower cost one be with these concrete planters?
The planters?
As proposed?
That would be $38,446. And that would be removing the walkway that I have shown here. I have it as an alternate. I'm sorry if that's a little misleading, but I just wanted to show it and then we could talk about it.
Okay. Any other questions? Val?
I have a few questions. So I guess my first question is, I understand why we want to save money. I don't want to sound flippant. However, we have a huge safety issue on this property. I don't want us to try to save money and then continue to have the safety issue. How do the planters compare to the wall?
The planters, I ran a calculation assuming that they would be essentially a crash barrel, and I determined that they would provide about a 17-mile-an-hour speed reduction, so it wouldn't completely stop the vehicle. That's why I was showing the additional concrete barrier along the edge of the 26 West Main Street property. And under that scenario, I was thinking a lot of these crashes that have historically occurred, they were late night crashes, they were stolen vehicles, they were people that were impaired. And I just think that for the most part, the passive recreation that may occur, if it was just people walking through or just, it just adds to the beauty of the area. I wasn't necessarily sure if it warranted building the wall for the $318,000. That's why I wanted to bring the options and, at least present all the information for consideration.
Yep, no, and I appreciate the, having the different options. I guess the other question I would have, though, is, removing, if we're going to make it a pocket park, let's make it that.
Okay.
Rather than, it's just my opinion. But if we want people to be able to be there and use it, have good accessibility, I don't know if you take a walkway out, if it's accessible now for everybody. But I am, I'm going to say I am extremely concerned about the safety. there'll be, I'm sure, someone speaking at Public Communications, the owner of the Hop House building. Cheryl will be speaking. So I don't want to speak for her, but, you know, the wall seemed to be what everybody was looking to put there for safety, and that's kind of how it was sold to us, was, not sold, but it was, if we're going to do this, we don't want people sitting there and something can happen. Now, yes, it's been late night accidents, but it doesn't mean that something can't happen during the day. You know,
Val, if I can.
yeah.
What I would like to do on this is I would like to just ask staff the questions and save the opinion. I think you're probably going to hear similar opinions across many people on this dais. But if it's okay for the council,
that's
I'd like to just ask the questions of the staff, and then what we'll do is we'll definitely have you up, Cheryl, during during public discussion. We'll hear from the public, and then we can debate and talk about our opinions and things like that, and decide what we want to take on action, because I think we've got some things to discuss on this.
Okay.
But we appreciate you bringing us options, because I think that's what we want to hear. So why don't we ask the town staff and the town manager more questions if we have them? Jack, go ahead.
Thank you. What did we budget for this pocket park?
This was like 2 years ago. Now, we originally were planning on doing this. I don't think we really budgeted. We planned on taking this out of the excess rainy day fund. So that's where we planned. So then, to be honest with you, we were planning on taking out of the carryover from last year. We carried over a couple $1 million from last year. So we have the funds to do it from the carryover funds. The question is just how much do we want to fund? I've spoken with John Leary. He also feels that whatever we decide, you know, we should be able to handle, shouldn't be an issue. But obviously, you know, we want to have that discussion.
So I have a question. So you mentioned the planters. Aesthetically, I just have concerns. I've seen planters. Do you have like any photos rather than just like the what the wall block pretty much looks like? Because
No.
again, being close to Route 10, I'm just also concerned of, you know, in 10 years from now, how that aesthetically will look, especially with all the salt that gets thrown down. I
Yeah.
just don't know if that is you know, or if there's any other options other than that. I just don't know if you have any photos or any other references locally that, you know, we could kind of compare it to.
I just have photos that F&F had provided.
Yeah,
of,
no, I got you.
Of their
It doesn't
blocks.
exist, right?
Yeah, they don't have one that they could provide yet, but if we were serious about it, they indicated they would provide a model. They would make one for us for our consideration.
Mike, Chris.
And we could apply a salt guard to the outside of them to make them salt resistant. You know, it is a valid concern. So that's one option.
Okay,
Thank
Tony?
Just a couple of questions. Well, town manager, we have, what, 7 million extra in the reserves?
Over Board of Finance's policy, we're a little over, it's gonna be closer to.
9.
Yeah, 7 million
north
over
of
the minimum.
9 after, hopefully, when we close the books.
Okay, you think it's around that number? Okay, got it. And secondly, for the town engineer, what's the difference in safety between the concrete planting boxes and the wall, in the sense of maybe not the safety of others, but the safety of the drivers? In the sense of we don't want, you know, dead bodies all over the place if this happens again. Is there a difference in how it stops the car, you know, of either of those? And if so, what is it?
There will be a difference because the wall, the reinforced concrete wall, it's going to have concrete and rebar, and that will stop a car rather abruptly. And that is why I designed it in a way that it was beyond the clear zone, which is the area that is reserved for being free of obstructions. And that's why it's set so far back from the edge of the road. So we're making every effort to provide ample time and area for drivers to regain the control of their vehicle if they make a mistake and they're driving in a reckless way. But it is located in an area where it should be able to provide protection for the buildings and for anyone that's in the area. So it's a good compromise of everything, but it will be an abrupt stop with the wall like that.
And it's going to follow an abrupt curb as well that's in front of it. 'Cause
Yes.
there's a pretty abrupt curb right now with the new curbing, so, okay. Chris?
Just to follow up on that, too.
Oh, wait a
Dave-
sec.
I'm sorry, Tom.
What's the difference between concrete planters and the wall?
The planters will not fully reduce the car speed. So I ran a calculation, if a 4,000-pound car was traveling 40 miles an hour straight at one of those planters, what would happen? And it would provide approximately a 17-mile-an-hour reduction. And then it would, hopefully they would stop in time before they hit the precast barrier under that option I showed, but, that's there just in case.
Thank you.
Mike, would you review his calculations on that?
Hold on. You said the train
Got it right
leaving
here.
California.
Okay, Chris?
Dave, I like your suggestion about, if we have to do this in phases. I like that. So getting back to the wall conversation, what is the cost just if we did the wall this year?
Just if we did the wall. That was if we were to pull up option A,
Yeah.
we would have to add the masonry facing, so that came in at $88,560. The decorative stone wall price, which was the $62,646. I would also recommend if we were gonna do the lighting, we would need to do the lighting at that time. So
Okay.
that would involve several items on here, like the 2-inch polyvinyl conduit and trench, the hand hole, so I didn't add that up yet, but that would be a substantial cost. Those are the bulk of that main option right there. And that's why the $245,000 option B, I thought was a good compromise. If we wanted to go with the decorative wall, which is a very beautiful option,
Yeah.
I thought that was a good stepping stone.
It would be over 200,000 because you got to put in the electrical conduit,
Yes.
the masonry, the lighting, the decorative stone wall, and you got to do some earth excavation of the site and things like that. So you're probably looking at around 200,000, just for that.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
To Mr. Palmieri's point, I don't know if it's finalized, but I believe there is an option, if you did go that route, for the highway department, we have a hardscaper on staff who would be willing and happy to actually take on the project during the regular workday. We have all the materials already.
For what?
All at F&F, they're already purchased, they were purchased part of the streetscape project. So for the walkway itself, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, we likely can do that with current staff.
That's great.
After
The
the wall is
walkway,
done.
Alex, are you talking about?
Walkway,
Okay.
Yes.
Alex, I followed up with Highway after I told you that, and they are pretty taxed. They're doing some paver work right now, so they have some paver projects. So they were a little reluctant to jump in on that request I was making of them, just because they said the timing would be pushed out at least another year. So they gave me some other contacts where we could possibly get a more cost-effective price. Because I thought that the price that was in the bid was a little on the high side, and maybe it's just because there's a small quantity of paver walkway. But also, I don't think they're taking into account that I stated right in there, we're providing the pavers, we're providing the polymeric joint seam because we have excess materials.
That is only, that's 8% of the overall cost, though.
Yep, yeah, it's $26,000 of the 318, yes.
Okay. Other questions? Jack?
Just to piggyback off that, so the concrete paver walk item for the 26,568, that's us providing the materials and the polymeric sand?
That's what I indicated in the specs, and that's the price they provided, so
So
I'm
based on
hoping-
my hardscape background, that number is way off, based on my experiences. That if the materials are all being provided, I don't see it costing more than $10 to $15 a square, and they came in at $54 a square. So that is definitely, in my opinion, not a competitive number.
I'm
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there
one
with you, very high.
That's the one bid though, right?
So we
But
can always
then-
spike that out and say, hey, find somebody else to do the paver walk,
Well, and I think, with that being said, if that is done that way, I feel that there's a lot of great talent in our community that could quote that out, and I think we could kind of, instead of one person doing it all, because what you see here is some of this, even the veneering, I see the masonry facing, I'm guessing that's veneering, correct?
Mhm.
And that is more than the wall. And I'm sure there's different, options that we can go with veneering as well, so that it's not as expensive as the 88,000.
I think we had another wall similar to this that had veneer. Did you compare the pricing that we received for this versus the other wall?
The other wall being the library?
Yeah.
I didn't get specific pricing on the items that they had over there, but I was told that the total price was about $130,000 for that wall. And
Right.
I believe that one is significantly shorter than what we have.
But
I
taller.
didn't measure it, but
But also taller.
it does have the tall
Yeah.
columns at the ends, yes.
And it still has a footing, right?
Yes.
And this one does too?
It's a reinforced concrete wall, similar, yep, just like what we're
I
proposing
think that's
here.
what, yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have item D, Calendar House pickleball court bids.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, this is for the Calendar House pickleball courts. Only one bid on this one as well, and that's from Hinding Tennis LLC. The quote is $62,000 is the subtotal of the quote. And this is being funded by an ARPA grant. That is in your packet as well.
Okay, so any questions on the pickleball court cost? $62,000?
Well, just a question about why we're only getting one bid for something like this.
We're putting these out publicly on Planet Bids. I'm told by the Calendar House and Mr. LaPre that the tennis court is a very specific, there's very few in each state that do them. So
it's
a
not
very good
unusual
business to
for
join.
us to have one
Not
bid for something like this.
No.
Company
Okay.
does everything.
This one company does every
Plainville,
tennis
right?
court in town. in the
Hending
state.
does every
I was
tennis
gonna
court
say,
around,
they
and we can't even get them to do ours. Yeah,
We had them do our court because we couldn't find, I contacted our town staff to find out who did the,
They're all over the state, too. I've
they
seen
are,
them in
and they're
Bridgeport
very
and-
good. They are very.
we couldn't get a quote for the high school tennis courts. I think we had to bring them in. Okay, any other questions on the pickleball courts?
Yeah,
Tony?
Just a quick one for the town manager. You said there's 5 projects to be funded by 100 grand, like the Harbour grant,
Yep.
and this takes up 62?
Yes.
Is there enough left for the rest, or have they been done?
Most of them are being done, and some of them are much smaller. There's like an
Oh, okay,
awning.
all right,
There's
all right.
This is the bulk of it, for sure.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, item E, Public Act 25-168, option to exempt 100% disabled veterans land.
So last year, the state passed a law where it exempted 100% of a 100% disabled veteran's house, dwelling, not the land that they own, from local real estate taxes until they die. They did not exempt the land itself. So right now, we're in a situation, this is the first go-around, this last July with the taxes, where the tax bills went out and they reflected 0 assessment on the house, regular assessment on the land. The state, in its budget that it passed this current session, put in there, and I have it for you in the packet, that it allows municipalities the option for the grand list going forward from October 1, 2025, to exempt the land as well. So it's an opt-in. It's something that each town and city can decide to do on its own. It does not take an effect until next July's tax bills come out. That's why it's the 2025 grand list. So that's there for your consideration. It's the council's decision and if it wants to adopt that or not.
Question, Mr. Chair.
Please.
So, Alex, you had said that until they die. Also for their spouses? Because the cars is spouses as well.
I think
Just
it does.
Find out.
This
Yeah, I
one's
think
I think
it's
it does.
spouses.
It includes the spouses as well, have, yep.
I know cars is spouses, even the veterans' spouses until they die as well.
Yep, that's correct. Okay, so this was one that I had asked the town manager to pull up after reading the legislation. The impact to the town, I think, is around $130,000 additional for exemptions that we would be providing to the 100% disabled veterans. And so this would be effective on this upcoming October grand list and effective the next budget cycle. So we would have to be prepared to put that into our budget if we pass it tonight. Okay? Questions? Yeah.
And it's, just to confirm, it is just up to 2 acres, right, Alex?
Yes,
So
up
if
to
they
2
own more
acres.
than that, it's
Correct.
a 2 acre, okay.
Okay. Any other questions for the town manager? Hearing none, we'll go to item 9, Town Attorney's Report. Item A, 22 Main Street update.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm happy to report that 22 Main Street, or the Bank of America property, is still proceeding, not as quickly as the town would like, but it is still proceeding along. The assistant town attorney spoke with the buyer's attorney on Friday, or it may have been today, I don't know. And there were some hiccups along the way with them. They were working with an architectural firm that had some complications and inconsistencies, and as a result, they've had to switch that. They are still full force and effect and going forward. The anticipation is when they have some acceptable renderings, they'll be applying for permits. As I think this council knew when it went to contract, they may be seeking an extension of time with regard to the closing itself, but it is still moving along. Any questions?
Questions on 22 Main? Jack?
Quick question. So with the extensions, is there any, increased deposits or any of that?
No.
Okay.
Okay, with regard to number B, that's the referral. I think the town managers already addressed that. It did come back from planning and zoning with a unanimous vote in favor. Finances already approved as well, and similarly with the $2 million appropriation that I think Alex has already addressed. That's on for action tonight.
Any other questions for the town attorney? Okay, hearing none, we're going to move on to public communications, item 10. If there's any member of the public who would like to speak, come on up. State your name and address for the record.
Regina Coviello, 12 Beecher Street. And actually, what you were just talking about, I don't know if you remember, but we have a smaller committee. There's like 5 of us, John, Larry, and all that. We're trying to go through the tax stuff to see what we can do. I know we're still working on it. We're supposed to have another meeting. So I don't know if you wanted to wait with disabled veterans, you know what I'm saying, till we bring this other report that we've gone through and what can be done. I'm not sure, if that's something you guys want to wait on. I know I've been waiting for a meeting with everyone, but with summer, everybody was on vacation. And I know we're supposed to get together shortly on that and see like some of the decisions and then bring it to you guys. So I don't know, like I said, I just want to let you know that, that we are working, on this little committee. I don't know, a lot of people didn't even know about it, right? You didn't know about it, yeah. Yeah, it's John, me, Candace, Bill Palmieri, and I can't think of the other guy's name, I'm sorry, on Board of Finance. And we're trying to work, and with Teresa in the tax department. So we've been working on all things to, try to help people, change some things, and we're still working on it, but we do have some really good ideas so far. But like I said, I don't want to talk about that, but I didn't know if you guys wanted to maybe talk to John, because I don't know if this will fit into what we're doing too. So you have like a complete package versus one, separate packages on that. So like I said, I wasn't planning, but I just wanted to let you know, because you didn't even know. We've been working on it all year. So like I said, maybe get in touch with John and that so we can, see, okay? And then the other item, and I did talk to, I'm just gonna do it briefly. I did talk to Alex. Tomorrow we have a planning and zoning meeting. At the last one, it was a very rough meeting, and the chair kind of went after one of the applications lawyers, but then also he said something, and it's not true with the law, and he actually said that the public could not ask information or talk to them, and that is a lie. The only people that can't talk are the commissioners about it. So I'm just asking that maybe tomorrow that is corrected, because there was a large crowd. And he actually said, if anybody talks to anybody, you're in trouble. So it was like, the public is just kind of sitting there going, what? So, and I know he's not doing well, and I understand that. So if there just can be a correction so that the public knows, okay, that what was said isn't true. All right, and if anybody has questions, you can reach out to me. All right, and that was it. Thank you.
Anybody else who would like to speak during public communications? Anybody? Good. Okay. Anything, yeah. This would be the time. No, that's okay.
Cheryl Moran, 92 South Shire Drive in Southington. I apologize for getting up before and disrupting, but what I was going to say is someone mentioned on here that if a stolen car is hit a building, I do not get anything from that because it's a stolen car. So just so you know, I am still fighting to get my deductible, my everything. So if it's a stolen car, the kids are arrested, but because it was a stolen car, I get no reimbursement for that. So just, that's what I wanted to correct at that point. So as most of you probably know, I own the Hop House building, which is 2628 West Main Street. It's been hit by 5 different vehicles in 7 years since I've owned it. I've owned it since 2011. The first time, okay, whatever. Second time, fluke. Third time, wow, weird. By the time you get to the 5th time, it's like WTF, right? And I have been struggling with my insurance company. This year, when I went to renew, my agent can only find one company that would insure me on this building because of all of the shit that's gone on. And when I tell you the one company that would insure me, I can't even tell you the number. It is exorbitant. So my point is that, and I appreciate Dave Norris, if he's still here. He's done a lot of work with me. He's worked with me. We've tried. I've reached out to the state because it's Route 10 and South Main, right? So Route 10 is state. I've reached out to the state. We can't do anything. Talk to the town. Town, hey, can we do anything about this corner? No, reach out to the state. It's Route 10. So I'm in this catch-22. It has been beyond frustrating for these last few years. And I appreciate Dave's help in everything. But the fact that we are now considering not putting a wall there. I went by the Southington Library today. I took a picture. It's a beautiful wall, and it has under lighting. It's beautiful. I'm not even saying we need something that big right there. Maybe you do a smaller size of that. And I think the amount of difference that Dave was talking about dollar-wise is minimal compared to the fact that someone is going to die at that corner, and it is going to kill me, okay? It's been 5 times already, and I have been woken up by a burning car, somebody who hit the Jeep that the bartender could have been sitting in at that point, a nurse who fell asleep and caught air and caught the side of the building, which cost me $1 million in structural damages repairs. Yes, drunken drivers, stolen kids who stole cars. It's just not one thing. There's an issue with that corner. I don't know why, but it is, and it needs to be fixed. And if it's a matter of, I don't know, I forget the numbers, another $10,000 or $30,000 to put a nice like wall there that says welcome to Plantsville and then lights up at night, like that is going to prevent somebody from being killed. And I'm not even, you know, again, yes, does it affect me? Here's the thing. If I can't get anybody to renew my insurance next year for that building, I own it straight out. There's no mortgage. There's no whatever. You know, my tenant, the Hop House, is not going to be able to work because it's a triple net lease, right? So the building will be let go. It'll turn into blight. It'll be a building that will be an eyesore on the corner of Plantsville when we're trying to build up Plantsville and make it look great, which a lot of people are doing. Mr. Diedzik, I know you hear me right now. Like, you know, this could turn into a really bad situation if I cannot get anybody to insure this building. And to be able to insure this building, I need this pocket park. And I need this pocket park to be nice. And I need it to have a wall with lights that will prevent someone from running into it again.
Thank you, Cheryl.
I'm sorry.
That's
It's
all
just,
right.
it's a very
Your time
passionate.
ran out, so if you have.
It's okay.
yeah,
I'm
it's okay. Take
sorry.
your
I'm
time.
sorry.
If
I
you want to say a few
apologize.
more words to wrap it.
No, you kind of got it. I think you guys all got it, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else? Name and address, please, for the record.
Joshua Serafino, 717 Pleasant Street. I want to ask the council to support Public Act 25-168 and implement it in the town of Southington to support our veterans. They sacrificed a lot for our country, and I think the least we can do is give them a tax break on their property. Thanks.
Excellent, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else who would like to come up?
Not again.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, we will close public communications and move on to old business. Item A, action on public hearing ordinances. Item 1, ordinance appropriating $6,617,400 for costs related to repairs and replacements of roofs at Hatton Elementary School, William Strong Elementary School, and Reuben E. Thalberg Elementary School, and authorizing the issue of $6,617,400 in bonds, notes, and finance said appropriation.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Chris and a second from Mr. Del Santo. Any discussion on that one?
Just to maybe Chris add, it'll be on the agenda, on the,
September 8th,
September.
2025, 7 PM, right?
8th or the 4th? Election day.
September. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah. It's going to be on the November 4th election day. It's November 4th? Okay, correct. So this is for the referendum question.
Yeah, so adjusted.
So it's a motion to put it on the
For
referendum.
referendum, November.
And you
Second.
modify the second. Good. All right, any other discussion? Okay, Bill, we're going to call the roll, so please be ready with unmuting. Madam Clerk?
Palmieri,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Clock,
Yes.
Del Santo,
Yes.
DiPaolo,
Yes.
Diedzik,
Yes.
Morelli,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Chaplinsky.
Yes, motion passes unanimously to put it on the referendum. Item number 2, ordinance appropriating $2 million for acquisition of land for open space purposes and authorizing the issue of bonds and notes in the same amount to finance said appropriation.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion
Second.
from Jen and a second from Val. Any discussion on the open space going on the referendum in November for the $2 million in funding? Any other discussion? Okay, please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Palmieri,
Yes.
Perry,
Yes.
Clock,
Yes.
Del Santo,
Yes.
DiPaolo,
Yes?
Diedzik,
Yes.
Morelli,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Japlinsky.
Yes, motion passes unanimously to put it on the referendum, and I would ask the town manager for both of those. We have in our packet the actual wording of the bond ordinances and the referendum questions. So if you can please put those in the meeting minutes so that we can have that documented, that'd be great for both items 1 and 2. Item B, action on report of finance.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion from Val and second from Mike. Any discussion on the report of Board of Finance? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. Item C, action on ICU medical permit.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Tony, second from Chris. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Item D, action on approval of Plantsville Pocket Park bids. And before we take motions, I just want to set this one up. We've heard a lot about the $318,000 for the original design for the wall and making the Pocket Park. I would just like to start this off by saying that we spent a lot of money and a lot of time in downtown Plantsville. We've beautified downtown Plantsville. It looks great. This is the final piece of that. So I ask you, as you're considering this, to really consider finishing the job, doing it right, providing an area that will look nice for the people downtown and safe for the people and the businesses.
Mr. Chair.
Yep.
I think I'm going to save us all a lot of time and effort tonight. My old man always used to tell me there's a dollar difference between a champ and a chump. Let's do exactly what you just said. I'd like to make a motion for the whole $312,000, do the wall correctly. Okay, we spent so much money downtown Plantsville. It's thriving. It's doing great. Let's make it look beautiful.
It's as proposed, right,
As
Mike? Because I
proposed.
think it was like
Yes.
318 and change.
As proposed.
Maybe the town manager can clarify.
As proposed is fine.
As proposed for the original design with the wall.
And if I'm
With the
wrong,
wall.
we'll talk about it during discussion, but I can't imagine anyone's going to push back on this.
Just a quick thing.
Well,
as-
I don't think we have a second yet.
As proposed, but
Why don't we get a second and then have the
Okay,
discussion?
sorry.
I'd like
Yeah,
to
sorry.
second that.
We have a second from the vice chair. Now, Tony, go ahead.
yeah, quickly. As proposed, but if there's any ways of cutting the price down, Alex,
Yeah, I'd like to see
we're
more.
proposing a maximum number, right? If there's any way of cutting that down based on various things we've discussed tonight.
Yeah,
not
so-
not by taking things away, but by
Staff
doing
can
it.
absolutely.
Like the sidewalk to-
Sub-bid out things
Okay,
and
yeah.
try to get the lowest cost possible.
Right,
Right,
thanks.
David? Yes. Okay.
And let's get it started, Alex, if this passes. Yep.
The scope stays the same and the dollars are the
If it
dollars.
does, yeah.
Dollar
Up
for
to-
dollar,
up
scope's
to
the
that dollar
same,
amount,
Max
correct.
cap.
Yes, thank you.
Val?
Yeah, I just think that's great. I appreciate my colleagues on the dais because that's, watching a business owner deal with that, it's just, it's heartbreaking because we all know, anybody who's a business owner, or if you get your insurance and your premiums start going up and your it's, it's difficult, and I'd hate to see businesses go out. So thank you. I think that's a
And
great
just one
move.
point, yeah, we have the money in our reserves, which has already been given by the taxpayer. So it's, something to consider as well.
Yeah.
Jack?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So just to confirm, we're not approving the contractor, we're approving a dollar amount, and then town staff will, do their due diligence and try to figure out, do we break some of this off, and then does it have to then come back to the council and approve the contractors?
No.
I was gonna ask for clarification. If you're good with having competitive bids or competitive quoting, we can move it forward right away. I think we understand the flavor of what the council wants. They want it pushed forward, but they want it to be bid out and just go with the most qualified, lowest cost bid
And we-
for each occupant.
And we have a bid already from a contractor here that we're approving essentially, but also saying that town staff has the ability to take things out and lower the cost from it.
Yeah, but just under our, with that being said, under our charter, over a certain dollar amount, I know has to go out to bid. This went out to bid. We're not using any of those vendors. Now we're going to outsource. So I don't know how that would work with, getting so many quotes so that we don't have to go out to bid. I know there's language in there, so I'm all in favor of this. I just want to make sure that we are operating in our authority, because I know once it hits a certain threshold, I know we're approving the aggregate, but to make it competitive and fair, at the same time, it just, I don't know what that breaks down to be.
We will have to still rebid.
Okay.
Absolutely, under over $10,000.
Perfect.
Council doesn't need to actually approve any of those contracts. We do it as kind of a.
Internal, yeah, no, I just want to
But
make, yeah.
As long as we get them bid under the financial policies, we can staff can decide on the best bid.
Yeah.
Even if it isn't the lowest, if it's close.
And to kind of reflect on, bringing this back together, there's comments made earlier to the Yeti program that, what they're doing in town is a reflection. I think that's important as well, that we want the Planceville project to be done properly. This is a reflection of all of us on the council to make sure that it is 100%, it looks good. We could be proud of it for 20 years driving down the road saying we were a part of that and we made sure it was done right. So I do, think that's important. So thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, Jack. Okay, why don't we call the roll on that, Madam Clerk?
Palmieri?
Yes.
Perry?
Yes.
Clock?
Yes.
Del Santo?
Yes.
DiPaolo?
Yes.
Dietzick?
Abstain.
Morelli?
Yes.
Morrison?
Yes.
Chaplinsky?
Yes, the motion passes 8-0, one abstention, which is Mr. Dietzick. Item E, action on approval of Calendar House pickleball court bids.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion
Second.
from Tony, second from Chris. Any discussion on the as-proposed bids? Okay, hearing none, please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Palmieri?
Yes.
Perry?
Yes.
Clock?
Yes.
Del Santo?
Yes.
DiPaolo?
Yes.
Dietzick?
Yes.
Morelli?
Yes.
Morrison?
Yes.
Chaplinsky?
Yes, the motion passes unanimously. Item F, action on scheduling a public hearing on Public Act 25-168, 100% disabled veteran land exemption for September 8th, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Discussion?
Just based on what Regina was saying tonight, should we wait until we get more information, especially if the members of the Board of
It's
Finance
just
are?
that's scheduled for public hearing.
That is we're just scheduling the public hearing, but that is an ad hoc subcommittee that has nothing to do with this legislation. There are some
reviewing,
brainstorming sessions
yeah.
that have been documented in the meeting minutes from the Board of Finance. And that is an ad hoc subcommittee from the Board of Finance. We haven't heard the recommendations, but it is separate from this one, and they can be treated
And this
separately.
is just for a public hearing, this motion
That's correct.
anyway, so, okay.
Any further discussion? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Palmieri?
Yes.
Perry?
Yes.
Clock?
Yes.
Del Santo?
Yes.
DiPaolo?
Yes.
Dietzick?
Yes to public hearing.
Morelli?
Yes.
Morrison?
Yes.
Chaplinsky?
Yes, motion passes unanimously for the public hearing on September 8, 2025 at 7 p.m. Item 12, new business appointments. I'm looking for a motion to appoint Kate Spalter in place of Brian Callahan on the Board of Ethics.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair. Kate Spalter of 138 East Street.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is for a 3-year term expiring August 2028. It's a full board seat. Any discussion about that? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I think we heard Mr. Dietzick say aye. Any opposed? Okay, so the motion passes 8-0 and, well, it's just 8-0. And Councilwoman DiPaolo left the dais for this vote. So it's 8-0. There's a second Board of Ethics alternate, 3-year term expiring August 2028 that I'm looking for a motion to table
Motion
on.
to table.
Yeah, second.
Motion to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed? Okay, motion passes 8-0, again with Councilwoman DiPaolo absent for that vote. Sorry, Val, just coming back. We just appointed the Board of Ethics and tabled one Board of Ethics. Item 2, Senior Citizen Commission, 1 member, 3-year term expiring March 2028. This is replacing Deborah Durbin, Republican, who resigned on July 14th due to moving out of state. So I'm looking for a motion to table on that one.
Motion to table.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously, 9-0. Councilwoman DiPaolo is back on the dais. Item 12B. This is a chairperson ad hoc subcommittee. It is the America 250 subcommittee. Councilman Morrison has given me the names of the following for the, to be appointed by myself. It is Colleen Clark, David Daranowski, Tony Morrison, Mike Scavetta, and Victoria Triano. Two ex officio members, DJ Voisin and Christina Volpe, who are staff members in the town of Southington, staff leaders. And they will help us with coming up with proposals and making the America 250 committee come to life. So that is my appointment.
Before, can I just suggest another? I don't know if Phil Whitting, has he been approached about
Yes,
this?
yes.
We spoke to him. He's definitely going to be involved. Yep.
He doesn't want to be on the,
We're keeping the core subcommittee because of the intensity of the meetings to these 5 so that they don't have to coordinate with too many people. But we've already spoken to Phil and many other people, and there's a whole bunch willing to serve that will be pulled in for, sub work within each of these committee members.
Yeah, the thing is also that we reach out to pretty much all institutions in town who will be doing stuff here, and we want to sort of have an umbrella, coordination of them. This is really a steering committee with an umbrella. We'll do some things ourselves, but there'll be an umbrella of activities in Southington, which will be obviously run by those institutions themselves. And it's just, it's a means to essentially coordinate that and put that together. So, even though people are doing separate things, it will be a Southington-based, a celebration throughout the year.
Okay. Any other questions on that? Excellent. Okay, so now as we get ready for adjournment, we're going to move into executive session. I'll take a moment in a minute, but we are going to have 2 discussions in executive session. One is personnel matters, which is the town manager's annual performance review under Connecticut General Statutes 1-200-6A. We are going to start executive session with real estate located in the north center part of Southington, Connecticut General Statute 1-200-6D. We'll start with that with the full council in attendance on that, including the town attorney, excluding the public and the press. And then for the second item, the town manager's annual performance review, Councilman Dietzick will be stepping out of the executive session for that. Okay, so I'm looking, under that guidance, I'm looking for a motion to after. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously to move into executive session. Thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. We'll take a